Hello guys, my name is Ronaldo Ortiz. My research paper topic was low income household in the United States. So currently in the United States, a lot of families have to pay half or more of their income in rent alone. And that can be a big issue because there's a lot of little money left for food, transportation, and electrical bills and such and so on. Things that are necessities to live on a daily basis. And a lot of people they don't live in proper homes. They live in homes that are worn down, that were built back in 1945 and are outdated at this point. Then they have to deal with inefficient things in their homes. They have to deal with wall unit ACs, outdated refrigerators that take up a lot of electricity, and they have to go through more hoops and ropes than they have to go through than a regular person does. And this is a big issue all over the United States, not only here in Florida, but it's also in New York, California, and Illinois, especially in the big cities. Um, and one of the main issues with low-income housing in the United States is that there is no funding. There's no proper funding for it. The little funding that there is not enough to cover the amount of people that actually need it. So in the United States, there actually is not there's no federal funding for affordable housing, for at least for renting. There is a tax credit option for new home buyers and so on, but not everybody in the United States it's in that economic state to be able to afford to buy a new home, just because of the closing costs can be more than $10,000. Not everybody just has $10,000 lying around, especially if you live on a paycheck to paycheck basis. So I felt that affordable housing for me it's more of it. Not only if it's a personal issue, but it's an issue that I want to deal with, or throughout my career, um, and especially having issues in funding is kind of like the biggest thing. So here in Florida, there is a funding for affordable homes, especially in renting homes and stuff like that, building new projects. But the problem is that funding gets put into the regular budget for the state of Florida, and even if there's a surplus in the budget, that money that was taken out for the affordable homes is not put back in. So that means there's less of housing project being built out, and there's less people out there that have access to these homes that they really need, and that just creates more issues on itself. You would think that as a nation that we could do better and that we could move forward and not have this issue, but this has been persistent for the last decade or so, and it's getting worse and worse because more people are moving to cities, and rents that kind of like that demand for housing, right, is what drives up the rent in most places, especially in Miami, because people that work in the service industry need a place to live. So people that work at McDonald's, that work in restaurants, like cleaning ladies, housekeepers, construction workers, they can't afford to live in the cities that they actually work in. Even school teachers have to live in studio apartments because they can't afford anything else. There's school teachers in San Francisco that live in one bedroom apartments and share with four different other people. That's not right. These are the school teachers that are providing for their community, and we can provide an affordable home for them. And when this issue was brought up back in 2016, the city finally went on to say that they're finally building a new affordable housing project for teachers alone in an abandoned. They rehabilitated an abandoned school that was not being used into, I think, 30 new apartments, and they are subsidized by the city and by the state of California. And so the rent is a fraction of the cost, or what would it cost to actually live in that neighborhood. So that's pretty great. But there are little steps that are being made on a daily basis, thanks to the private sector too, because the private sector does invest into it. So many developers will actually propose a new project to a city, and they would maybe put in a couple of units that can be used for affordable housing, and to make it more to make the project seem more favorable to the city. And that's a win for on both sides. But actually, and there's another way that cities actually help out for funding, which is subsidizing a building project with a private sector, and through that, they make the private to make the private developer make units for that too, if they're not proportionally the units being made. So another thing that can be useful for figuring out a solution to this issue is small homes. That's become a new trend over the past few years, where people actually make their own small little homes. Yes, they're tiny, and sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but done right and using space efficiently, it can actually be a solution towards finding proper homes for people that need them very badly, like teachers in San Francisco, and teachers kind of everywhere here in the United States, honestly, because they are so underpaid. But that's a whole different issue on the side. Um, but yes, another issue that comes with affordable housing is the space that's needed for these housing projects. So not many cities have big lots that they can make a new project in, or like a developer can come in and put a new project where it's actually needed. Because most of the time it's in those really bad neighborhoods. Well, not bad neighborhoods, but kind of like where like the low income families kind of tend to live in. So like the vulnerable neighborhoods, if I may say. So that's where it's kind of more needed. But in those vulnerable neighborhoods, there are not many empty lots, and if there's empty lots, they're not very big lots. So you have small little awkward lots here and there, and they all scatter everywhere, and it just make it really kind of hard to find a new place to build a new project. And sometimes space is wasted too. So I know here, okay, so this video is getting kind of long. It's already 10 minutes long. I would recommend you guys to check out the United States affordable housing and urban planning website. It's called huduser.gov. It's a really cool website. It kind of gives you a information about affordable housing, how it's being done. There's a lot of research and